TSU1 with Juan Larson
and Joey Cruz. Where are migrants distributed? Geographer E.G. Ravenstein created 3 basic laws of migration: the distance that migrants typically move, the reasons a migrant move, and the characteristics of migrants.
Most migrants relocate a short distance to remain in the same country, or they relocate to countries with major centers of economic activities.
There are 2 types of migration: international migration and internal migration. International migration is a permanent move from one country to another, and internal migration is a permanent move within the same country. An example of international migration is people moving from Mexico to the U.S. An example of internal migration is people moving from one side of the U.S. to the other.
International migration is broken into 2 groups: forced migration and voluntary migration. Voluntary migration is when people choose to leave or migrate to another country. Forced migration is when people are compelled or forced to move to another country. An example of this would be slavery.
There are 2 types of internal migration. There's interregional migration and intra-regional migration. Interregional migration is movement from one region of a country to another, and then intra-regional migration is movement within one region.
An example of interregional migration is moving from Imperial Beach to Washington, D.C. An example of intra-regional migration is moving from within IB to another location within IB. International migration has certain patterns. Some of them include North America to Australia, Europe to North America, South America to Europe. However, there's 3 main flow points that are the heaviest concentration of migration. These include Asia to Europe, Asia to North America, and South America to North America.
As you see, the largest migration patterns are from Asia to Europe, from Asia to North America, from Latin America to North America.
There are also specific patterns of migration within the U.S. In the 1840s and 50s, the main migration came from Ireland and Germany. In the 1870s, most of the migration came from Ireland and Germany again. The next U.S. migration pattern came from Scandinavia in the 1880s.
Southern and Eastern Europe from 1905 to 1914.
Interregional migration is migration between regions in a country. Historically, most people migrated from farmland, while today it is from rural to urban areas where jobs are plenty. This can be seen in the US, where, in 1790, people migrated along the Atlantic coast, while from 1950 to 2010, migration was westward due to job opportunities. Interregional migration in Russia. Previously, the Soviet Union tried luring people to Siberia with incentives such as high wages and early retirement. This was because of Siberia's rich fossil fuels, minerals, and forests. However, this did not work out, as Siberia's harsh climate forced 50% of the people who went there to move back. Migration between regions and other large countries. Most countries have had movement from the east to the west due to job opportunities. This can be seen in Canada, China, and Brazil. For example, China has had 100 million people immigrate from rural areas to the country's exterior, mostly Hong Kong, because of job opportunities. Intra-regional migration is permanent moving within one region of a country, and it takes several forms, including rural to urban, urban to suburban, and urban to rural areas, with rural to urban being the most popular. This can be seen in Europe in the 1800s and North America during the Industrial Revolution. However, some countries have people who do move from urban to rural areas. However, they mostly developed countries. This is called counter-urbanization, and it occurs from the very rapid expansion of the suburbs.
People migrate due to push and pull factors. A political push factor, slavery, which forced millions of people to become slaves or prisoners. A pull factor would be religious freedom and to avoid violations of human rights. An environmental pull factor would be to move toward more physically attractive regions. An environmental push factor would be to avoid natural disasters. Most people migrate for economic reasons. To find jobs. The US and Canada are prominent destinations for this. Of the world's 16 countries with the highest per capita income, 14 are in the northern and western Europe. As a result, immigrants come from the south and east. These immigrants take low status and low skilled jobs. Germany and other wealthy European countries had guest worker programs. Immigrants were allowed to immigrate from poor countries to attain jobs. Many have remained. Asia is a major source and destination for immigrants. 40 million Chinese live in other countries. Wealthy oil-producing countries have been major destinations for people from poorer countries, most from South and Southwest Asia.
Key issue 4. Why do migrants face obstacles? Intervening obstacle is the environmental or political feature that delays migration. Today's major obstacle is political because you need a passport or visa to travel. Quota is the maximum limit on the number of people who could immigrate to the United States during a one-year period. Under quota, 3/4 of immigrants are admitted to move into the country to reunify existing families. Skilled workers get most of the quota, and diversity admits different races and cultures. Brain drain is when highly trained people or professionals leave a country, while brain gain is when they move into a country. They do this to find better opportunities to use their skills. Chain migration is the process when several immigrants move to a certain location because of family members or other immigrants. 58% of illegal immigrants come from Mexico and other Latin American countries. About 4.5 million babies are born in the U.S. from illegal immigrants. 8 million immigrants work in the U.S. and make up about 5% of the labor force. California and Texas have the largest number of illegal immigrants, while Nevada has the highest percentage. The U.S.-Mexico border is 3,141 kilometers or 1,951 miles long. There are several large urban areas on the border, like San Diego, California, Tijuana, Mexico, Brownsville, Texas, and Matamoros, Mexico. The International Boundary and Water Commission maintains the border and water agreements between the U.S. and Mexico. Mexico shows understanding and sympathy for illegal immigrants in the north, but wants stronger borders from surrounding countries like Guatemala. But the main destination is the U.S.
In Ravenstein's Laws of Migration, he theorized that most long-distance migrants are male. He also theorized that most long-distance migrants are adult individuals rather than families with children. Ravenstein's Laws. Ravenstein theorized that males were most likely to migrate long distances. This is because searching for work was the main reason for international travel, and males were most likely to be hired. During much of the 19th and 20th century, about 55% of U.S. immigrants were male. But gender patterns reversed in the 1990s, and in the 21st century, women constitute about 55% of U.S. immigrants. Also, illegal immigrants are the largest group of U.S. immigrants. Two factors why people immigrate are pull factors and push factors. Some pull factors could be education, job opportunities, and environment. Some push factors could be poor economic conditions or unequal rights. Also, U.S. opposition to immigration has increased as more immigrants come from different countries around the world. In Europe, the removal of migration restrictions for Europeans has set off large-scale migration flows within the region. The principal flows are from poorer countries of Europe to richer ones where job opportunities are greater. For example, Romania, Serbia, Ukraine, and Poland, and are moving towards UK, Germany, Italy, and more developed countries. Many Europeans dislike this immigration policy. Many political parties are blaming immigrants for crime, unemployment, and high welfare costs. Immigrants from Europe have spread all over the world, from Asia to North America. The immigration of 65 million Europeans has profoundly changed old culture around the world. Now half of the world speaks an Indo-European language, and European cultures have spread around the world. European art, music, literature, philosophy, and ethnics has also diffused throughout the world.